seats. Please take your seats.
It's not very expensive. You prefer a nicer one?
Everybody, before opening the second day of the 33rd ECB, we have the pleasure to have with us the Minister of Health of Côte d'Ivoire, the Executive Director of the Global Fund, Mr. Marc Daibul, and the Executive Director of UNAIDS for the signing of the new program grant agreement between Côte d'Ivoire and the Global Fund. I would like to pass over to the Executive Director of the Global Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to say a few words, mostly of thanks to the Minister and the people of Côte d'Ivoire for their leadership, and the President for their leadership in pushing forward this grant agreement rapidly. And thank UNAIDS. This is the third grant that Michelle and I are signing together to demonstrate the partnership between the two organizations, mostly on the ground where it matters the most. The teams have worked extremely well together to support the Ministry of Health to get to this grant agreement rapidly. It will ensure services for the prevention of mother-to-child transmission to reach the global goal of 0 new infections as quickly as possible. So we're very privileged to be serving the people of Côte d'Ivoire and working closely with UNAIDS in that service so that they can achieve their national goals under the leadership of Her Excellency the Minister and the President. So thank you very much for your partnership and leadership.
I would like to request Mr. Michel Sidibe to share a few words with us.
Thank you very much. I wanted just to say thank you to Marc for his leadership, and also emphasize the fact that it's not about money. Our relationship is about true partnership, how we leverage our respective forces to be able to support countries to deliver on their respective program. So that is the third one. We did sign together in Kenya, and Marc asked me on his behalf. That was the first time in the history of the Global Fund to sign the grant in Sierra Leone, and now is with Ivory Coast. And I want just to say that it's showing clearly that the partnership we are trying to build is about leveraging our respective strengths to make sure that countries could have resources, but also use those resources in transparent and accountable manner. So we'll continue to support the Global Fund in this effort, and also the countries. So thank you very much, Marc, and I'm pleased to be with Ivory Coast Minister today for this grant. And we know how much it has been difficult because the situation of Ivory Coast, and particularly the difficulties the country was facing for almost 10 years. But we are very privileged to see that we can sign this grant together today.
I give the floor to the Minister of Health, Côte d'Ivoire.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you how important this moment is for the people and the government of the Côte d'Ivoire. I'd like to thank the Executive Director of UNAIDS, our brother Michel Sidibe, and all his team, but I'd also like to thank the Executive Director of the Global Fund who today, after, as Michel has reminded us, after 10 years of distress and difficult conditions for the people of the Côte d'Ivoire, in particular those affected by the illness, and in particular women and children who have been unable to benefit from the support and treatment with antiretroviral drugs for so many years. And I am delighted to be here at this table with you, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to really bring about this commitment with UNAIDS and the Global Fund, which is a financial support, of course, but it is also a support in terms of capacity building for all those who are going to be treating those affected by HIV. And this fund, which has been made available to the government of Côte d'Ivoire for the work with the structures that treat our sick people. These funds will be used transparently. These funds will be used in the best way possible and at the targeted groups, which are those affected. But in particular, it's going to be targeted at prevention and preparing. I think these are the words we need to use. Prevent, prepare, care for, and cure. So on behalf of you all, ladies and gentlemen, we're all here working for the same cause. We want to ensure a better future for those living with HIV. So here with Marc Daibel, and that Michel will not be disappointed in having supported us all the way through this and having allowed us today before the whole world to undertake this commitment to the population. So I'd like to thank you both once more. Marc, I'd like to thank you most sincerely. I think the amount of 77 million euros, I can't even say it, it's such a huge sum, it's totally unexpected, and I'd like to thank you both once more. Thank you, Michel. Thank you, Marc. Thank you.
Just a moment for me.
Thank you for this historic moment. Now, to pick up the threads from last night,